So I'm not singling you out, man, but you were just the millionth comment that described characters being bloodlusted to me. I know how this works. I'm aware of the process of a versus battle. What I'm trying to say is I don't agree with it. Like, the whole concept of a versus battle or death battle or power scaling or anything like that is to remove these characters from context. But I don't think you're doing that. You're just rewriting their context. Characters are fictional. They only ever exist in text, and all you're really doing is writing a new text for these characters. Case in point, some characters actively get weaker when they experience bloodlust. Some characters rely mostly on stealth or mental tricks or social tricks. Some characters only have powers that are activated by certain circumstances. Neutral battleground bloodlusted characters doesn't make a fight fair, it just favors a certain type of character. Similarly, a lot of people ended up saying, oh, well, why are you saying that this doesn't make a compelling story? The point of versus battles isn't to tell a story, it's to figure out who would win. You're still telling a story. You're telling the story of who would win in a confrontation. These feats that you're analyzing exist in the context of a story. They're usually triggered because it's appropriate at a certain time in a plot. So analyzing them absent that isn't actually accurately analyzing them. I was also asked, why am I upholding versus battles and power scaling to the standards of literary analysis? Well, literary analysis is the practice of examining the text of a work and drawing a conclusion from that text. It could be anything from an author's meaning to deeper symbolism in a plot, to why characters acted in certain ways. Power scalers are doing the same thing. They're examining the feats of a character and they're drawing conclusions. You're already doing literary analysis, even if you don't want to be. Like, there's this claim in the power scaling community that what you're doing is somehow objective, but there is still no consensus on who wins, Superman or Goku. That's because everyone has a different interpretation of their feats. Literary analysis is interpretation. And in the literary analysis community, when someone says something like, oh, well, Goku is multiversal, or, oh, Superman has defeated enemies that could warp reality, the first thing we would ask is, well, does that make a difference, considering their character and circumstances and the way we're seeing them confront each other? And since you're not allowed to ask that question in the versus battle community, since you're only ever considering upper limits, there are a million deadlocks. Person A interprets it one way, person B interprets it another, and neither of them come to a conclusion. Toxic behavior ensues. From an analytical standpoint, you can debate the relevance of certain feats, and each debate gets you a little bit closer to a conclusion.